So look, Porch Chronicles. I come out here and I fed the ducks, right? So I always do the trail, and then I'll come and sit and pray and meditate and just enjoy sitting out here. And there's a big old duck sitting over here next to me by the water. So I'm over here at the bench, and it's a white lady to come up to me. Her and her mom. Her mom is on a rollator like what I use. And she stops and she said, "I saw you came prepared." And she was like, because on the other side, when I first come in, I always feed them because they be over there. As soon as they hear the bag ruffle, they already know. They come to you. They come to you. So I was feeding him a tortilla. So I was steady feeding them, blah, blah, blah. And then I get done and I do the trail. After I do the trail, I come and sit for a while, read a book, blah, blah, blah. Whatever I got with me. Journal, read a book, whatever. So she stopped. She said, "I saw you was prepared." I said, "Yeah, I usually try to make sure I bring something for the ducks so I can feed them while I'm here." So her mom was on the rollator, so she sat down and she started talking to me. So she started talking to me and didn't stop. She talked to me for so long, her daughter left. She was like, "Mom, I'll be on the upside. Or I'll be over there sitting down or something, something, something." So her mom stayed over here for probably about 10 or 15 minutes just talking to me. It was, I guess it was my energy. So she said, "I like your thing." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I got it off of Facebook Marketplace." And I was telling her about it. And I was telling her about Metro Access, how they can come and get her when she said because she doesn't drive anymore. She said she stopped driving last year because she wrecked her car and she's not able to drive anymore. So I was like, "I can understand it, but you don't have to lose your independence." And I was telling her about Metro Access, and I told her I can give the number to her daughter if she wanted to get it for her. This lady, she just sat down and started talking to me about everything in her life. And she was like, she told me that where she used to work. She said, I was telling her about arts and crafts, and I like to do that type of stuff. And she was like, I said, "I wish I was old enough to go to a community center where the seniors be." I said, "But I'm not old enough yet because you got to be over 65. Because I like doing that type of stuff that they do there." And she was like, "Yeah, you got a little bit." I said, "But I do it at home. I paint. I do all kind of stuff at home." She was like, I said, "But I will enjoy going to a community center." So she was telling me that she used to work in the community center after she retired. And she was like, "I taught Spanish at the community center." So she said, why I told them and this is for older people. She was like, "Why I told them we was going to have an exam at the end of a couple of months." And she was like, they got upset with her because they was like, "How are we going to have an exam when this is a community center?" She was like, "This is the exam." She was like, "At the end of class, we going to all go to the Mexican restaurant, and everybody got to order their food in Spanish and as much as possible food in Spanish." I was like, "That's a good test right there. I know everybody want to take that test." She was like, "Yeah, everybody loved it." So then she said, I volunteered there for a long time until I turned 80. I'm looking at her like, "Till you turn 80?" She was like, I said, you 80? She said, "I'm over 80, ma'am." I said, "How old are you?" Why, this lady was 93 years old. 93. Honey, she didn't look 93. She didn't. And she's still walking around the park, even though she's using the rollator, she walking around the park. So I was just like, wow. She was like, the only reason she stopped teaching the class is because after she turned 80, she couldn't remember people's names like she used to. I was like, I understand that. But she was like, she really enjoyed it. And then she just was telling me about her family and telling me about her different things and stuff. And I was just like, I loved it. I ain't gonna lie. I love older people, but I have to be real careful when it comes to older people because I get attached to them. And they older, so we already know what that means. So she just was enjoying my energy and my spirit. She stayed here for a long time. Then she got up and she was like, "Will you enjoy the rest of your life? Because it seems like you she was asking was I retired. I told her I was just finishing school and getting ready for my certificate class so I can start traveling." And she was like, "Oh, okay. Enjoy the rest of your life." So she gets up to leave. She didn't leave. She just kept talking to me. That's the kind of stuff I live for. It was just beautiful. She was a beautiful older lady. She was 93. And I was like, this is the type of life I want. That's the type of life I deserve, and everyone deserves. No, how you know how many people don't make it to 93? I love you, Porch Chronicles. Please, please, if you can, it's Saturday. Go outside and get you some sun. Love on you for a little while. You didn't already try to love on everybody else in the world. Why don't you get yourself some? I love you, Porch Chronicles.